Hello, everyone. It's your girl Chiquis, and you've reached the voicemail box for Dear Chiquis. I'm here to give you advice on anything and everything you need help with. Maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're having issues with your family. Or maybe you need help figuring out how to balance your checkbook or how to start a business. Whatever the case is, I want to hear from you. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions, and if you're suffering from an issue or hardship, you should seek help from a qualified professional. All right, now go ahead and leave your question at the sound of the beep.
Hi, Chiquis. I'm just wondering, what happened to the lady that used to clean your house when you guys had the big mansion in Encino?
Oh, Jesse, that's a different question. Okay, so Melele, we used to call her Melele. Her name is Mercedes. You know what? We talked to her. Johnny and I talked to her from time to time. We just honestly, thank goodness, she made our life so much easier when we lived in Encino. It was a huge house, so she helped us out a lot. And when we moved and I moved into a smaller place, to be honest, I really couldn't afford it anymore, like by myself. So I had to just let her go, but we're still cool. But that's what happened. I mean, I've thought about bringing her back here and there, to be honest. I'm not going to lie because era bien movida ella, but she made my life so much easier. But yeah, that's what happened with her. Now you got me thinking. I've been looking for someone. So maybe I should call her. Thank you, Jesse. You just like lit a light bulb in my mind. Okay, guys. So our next question comes from Lisa.
My question for you is, what was the toughest thing that you have gone through in life, and what was the lesson that you learned from it? I know you've been through a lot in life, and I don't know, I feel like we always learn from each other's stories, what we get through and how we get through them. So I know right now a lot of people are living some very tough moments, and I'm sure they would love to hear from you.
Lisa, oh wow, I love this question. Yes, I have been through quite a bit. I wouldn't even know. I think if I can think back and think of like what really threw me to my knees and to the floor, I would have to say it was my divorce. And I know it sounds crazy because obviously I went through sexual abuse with my dad and that was tough. And I lost my mom and that was very tough. But when I lost my mom, I had the kids, my siblings. They were so young and they needed me. So that kept me going. So it's like I wanted to mourn, but I had to be strong. That was very painful. It was very, very painful. But I would have to say that my divorce was because not necessarily of who I was losing. I felt just disappointed. I felt bamboozled in a way. It was just tough. So it's really hard because I feel like cada cosa tiene like the lesson, you know, it has a lesson that I learned from everything. But I think, damn, you really got me here because I'm like, damn, no, I don't want to take anything away from every situation. You know what I mean? Because obviously losing my mom is very hard and what happened with my dad. But I think what I learned from the separation and my divorce was not forcing things, like listening to my gut, listening to that sixth sense that we, especially women, have. And I ignored it. I ignored it for the wrong reasons. And I tried to fit my foot in a shoe that didn't fit, if that makes sense. And now that I have healed and now that I have forgiven him completely, it's not really him. You know what I mean? Like he showed himself in the beginning. I just tried my best. I can change him. I can try to change him. And it just doesn't work. They have to also be willing. So I'm not mad at him anymore. Like I accept, and it just wasn't a fit for me, you know? And I put myself in that situation, to be honest. And I knew maybe I shouldn't get married, but I did it. I wasn't listening to all of the red flags that were being shown, and I wasn't listening to the signs that God was giving me. So that's what I learned, to really just not ignore red flags, listen to my intuition, and take action and not be afraid, you know? So yeah. You really made me think there. Thank you for that. Sending you a big kiss, Lisa. And now we're moving on to a question from Isabel.
Hola, Chiquis. Soy una fan tuya. Soy de Perú y vivo aquí en Virginia. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué tipo de tratamiento usas para tu rostro? Porque tienes una piel maravillosa. Yo sé que aparte que usas tus cremas, aparte que usas tu bloqueador, ¿qué otro tipo de tratamientos o qué más te haces en la cara para mantenerse glow? No sé, algo más, danos tu secreto para mantenernos nosotras también así hermosa como tú. Un beso, Muchas bendiciones. Saludos. Ojalá que salga mi pregunta.
Hola Isabel, un besito hasta Virginia. Wow, yo quiero ir a Perú también. Yo sé que dices que eres de Perú, me encanta la comida peruana. I love it. Así que muchas gracias por tu pregunta. Mira, sí, definitivamente uso mis cremas de mi cuidado de piel. Eso es esencial. También el tomar muchísima agua también es importante. Pero ya antes me hacía láser, pero me di cuenta que no funciona para mí porque soy latina y como que a veces puede como brotar manchitas así, cafecitas en la piel. Hyperpigmentation se llama. Y pues bueno, la verdad ahorita me hiciste pensar y en realidad nomás es eso, exfoliar, lavarme la cara en la noche, en la mañana, especialmente si me pongo maquillaje, no dormirme con el maquillaje. Eso es lo peor que podemos hacer para nuestra piel. El bloqueador solar, pero ya de ahí, o sea, nada, mascarillas uso, pero en realidad es lo único, son las cremas y el Botox, la verdad, te ayuda así como a darte un brillo, un glow. Eso lo he hecho muchos años, el Botox me encanta. Eso está en ti si tú quieres, yo nomás digo eso es lo que yo hago. Pero bueno, la verdad es todo. That's it. Be flawless skin. Te lo juro. Tengo una mascarilla que se llama Vitamin C Exfoliating Mask. Esa es buenísima. Eso te ayuda mucho a tener la piel clarita, así suavecita. O sea, eso te ayuda mucho. Pero bueno, Isabel, esa es la neta.com. Okay, you guys, she was just asking, what do I use on my skin? Because she feels that I have very nice skin. So thank you so much about that. But she wanted to know, besides my skincare, what do I use or what do I do? And in reality, I just use my skincare. I exfoliate. I wash my face morning and night, especially when I have makeup on. I don't sleep with my makeup. But yeah, I mean, I use my products and I use the mask and I exfoliate and all that stuff. And Botox, I told her, because I like Botox. So that's it. That's really the truth. So, Isabel, gracias por tu pregunta y espero que te haya ayudado. Ay, perdóname, pero es la neta. All right, guys. So our last question comes from Natalie.
I wanted to know, how do you leave a marriage of 8 years? We've been together for 13 years, married 8. We have 4 kids together. I myself have 7 kids in total. It is so hard to just leave or to just say, I don't want to be with you. I don't love him anymore. I'm not in love with him. I love him because he's the father of my kids, but I am not in love with him. One of my daughters is sick. She got really sick. And I don't want to take that away from her now that she really needs him like a lot. I would just love un consejo tuyo. What should I do? It is really hard. I don't know what to do. No sé qué hacer. Bye. Love you, chiquis.
Oh, Natalie, this one is a toughie because there's children involved, because, you have also a sick daughter, and I wouldn't want to tell you, okay, leave him. But what I can tell you is you can't make anyone happy, not your husband, not your children, unless you're happy. And if you're not happy, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? As hard as it's going to be and as much as it's going to hurt people, we can't stay with people because we feel sorry for them or because we feel bad. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about your husband. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good reason to stay with someone, or it's not a good reason to stay with someone because of your kids. And I'm telling you this because my grandmother did that. She stayed with my grandpa, even though, he would cheat and, he did what he did, and she did it for the kids, and by the time she was like, okay, the kids are old enough and she left him, she's like, wow, where did my life go? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, it's tough. You got to think about that. And sometimes just having an honest conversation and just say, hey, I love you. And I think we'd be better as friends and co-parenting. And that doesn't mean that your daughter can't have her dad in her life. You know what I mean? And also, if your kids are old enough, hey, this is what's happening. Like, have an open conversation. Once you have it with your husband first, then you guys have it with the kids and just say, hey, we're going to do this, but we're still friends. We still love you. This doesn't change anything or the love we have for you, but this is going to make all of us happier. I think having that solid conversation, or therapy. Have you guys tried therapy? Again, I'm not sure why you fell out of love. I don't know if he's been a good husband. I don't know if things have happened, but you have to take all of that into account and obviously maybe try therapy. Maybe once you guys have the conversation, he's like, wait, what are you missing? Am I not giving you enough love? Like if you are open with him, then maybe you guys can give the relationship a chance and make changes. Maybe go on date night, all those little things. Like you have to figure out where the issue is. And maybe he's not giving you something that you're desiring, but that can be fixable if he's a good man. So there are different things here, so you got to really just look at everything at every angle. But I do suggest having an open and honest conversation. As hard as that is, you have to be honest, because then you're doing a disservice for him. It's not fair to him if you stay with him just because you feel bad, or for the kids. Like that's not fair. So that is my solid and honest advice. So I hope it helps, Natalie, because you do sound like you're in a pickle, and I get it. I hope I helped, guys. And thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you, Jesse, Lisa, Isabel, and Natalie. I really appreciate it. I hope, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I was able to help you guys. I honestly love hearing from you guys, so keep the questions coming. Leave me a voice note with your name and question at speakpipe.com/Chiquis and Chill podcast. Besitos a todos, okay? This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.